In the summer of 1977, probably before most of you were even born, NASA launched two spacecraft, Voyager 1 and the original Voyager 2, on an incredible mission to explore the outer planets. What they found were sights never ever seen before. Big giant hurricanes, bigger than the planet Earth, a moon with an active volcano, and whole planets actually dipped on its sides. Hey, and they're right here in our solar system. Hi, I'm Phil Moore, and today we're going to boldly go where no classroom has gone before. Make it so. We're on an adventure into outer space on Launch Box. Bring an extra sandwich. This is a hip trip. Whoa, slow down. Check this out. After traveling about 390 million miles from Earth, Voyager reached its first stop, Jupiter. The largest of all the planets in the solar system, and it was named for the king of the Roman gods. Now, like our sun, Jupiter is composed of helium and hydrogen gases that have combined to form these incredible clouds that race across the face of the planet. Okay, now, time for a reality check. Just how big is Jupiter? Check it out. Let's take a look at planet Earth. Hi, Mom. Look, here I am. Doot, doot, doot. This is planet Earth. Yeah, this is a big planet. Jupiter is about 11 times larger than Earth. Look, it shrunk down. It's a teeny weeny. I pinch you, Earth. Take a look at this giant hurricane. Oh, Annie M! It's the Great Red Spot. And it is so incredibly big that you could actually put 3 planet Earths inside of it. Imagine 3 Earths inside of this thing. Jupiter has at least 16 moons. 2 of them are larger than the planet Mercury. It's like everything out here is big. Now, 2 of my favorite moons are Europa and Io. Let's look at Europa. It's about the size of our moon, and it's like a giant snowball because it's covered by fresh ice. Boy! Now, a little hint. Don't get hit in the face with this moon. Leaves a nasty hickey right there. The scientists believe that liquid water can be found underneath of its crust of ice. And where there's water, perhaps maybe there's life also. Io is about the size of our moon. And look at all of those colors, yellows and orange. This thing looks like an orange peel. And these colors come from heated sulfur. Sulfur smells like bad eggs. In other words, this planet stinks. Now, some of these volcanoes shoot hot sulfur 150 miles into space. And it does smell bad. Anyway, we just saw Europa as a giant snowball and its sister moon as a giant volcano, right beside each other. Go figure. Now, I'm going to turn you over to the testing center of Starbase 1 so you can see how much you know about the giant Jupiter. Now, listen, I hope you were paying attention. I don't want to be standing here wasting my time.
This is the training center of Starbase 1. Today, we'll be conducting the test for a Starbase commander. You'll be asked several questions designed to measure your ability to command a spaceship and its crew. A scout ship is usually assigned to deep space patrol with the responsibility of maintaining signal beacons and performing rescue missions. The captain of a scout ship is just 2 levels below a starship commander. Stand by. The test begins now. This is the Jupiter system. It is composed of 16 moons orbiting the planet Jupiter. The largest of these moons is Ganymede. Its surface is composed of soft ice and snow. Although classified as a moon, Ganymede is as large as the planet Mercury. Study this picture carefully. This is the moon Europa, a very bright, almost featureless world. Its surface is composed of a solid crust of ice. Study this picture carefully. This is Io. It is about the same size as both Europa and our own moon and is covered with volcanoes and molten lava. Study this picture carefully. Ganymede, Europa, Io. Stand by for instructions. Part 1. If you had to make an emergency landing in this planet system, which one of these moons is your best choice for a landing site? Your time is up. Now I'll program the computer to make a simulated landing on each of these moons. Let's see what would have happened if you would have landed on Io. Io is a moon covered with volcanoes and molten lava, and therefore it is not a safe place for your scout ship to land. This is Ganymede. You may remember that this moon is as large as the planet Mercury. However, if you chose to land here, your ship would have sunk into the soft snow and ice, resulting in the death of your crew. Europa has the only safe landing sites. This moon has a solid crust of ice, and therefore it can hold the weight of a scout ship. Of these 3 moons, only Europa should be used as a landing site. Part 1 of this test is complete. Please score yourself. For those of you who have successfully completed this test, congratulations. Report to Level M for your pilot certificate. And this is the testing center of Starbase 1 signing off.
Okay, traveling another 400 million miles, and Voyager arrives 2 years later at Saturn. Da-da-da-da! Now, Saturn is the 6th planet from the Sun, and it's named for Jupiter's father. And it is the most incredible looking planet. You look marvelous, planet. Yes, you do. Now, like Jupiter, it's a large gaseous planet composed of hydrogen and helium. And Saturn isn't really round. Take a look, it kind of bulges in the middle. And that's because it's been so incredibly fast. It only takes 10 hours for the planet to rotate and spin around once. Now, Earth, as you know, takes 24 hours. That's how we get a day. Now you know. Time for another reality check. Here's Earth, boom, and here's Saturn, which is about 9 times bigger than Earth. Let's put them together and see what it takes, see how it looks. Boing, look at that little teeny Earth right there. Look, there it is. Look at these rings around. Thousands of them surround the planet. It's incredible. They're very, very thin, less than 300 feet thick. The ring material varies from small little objects the size of golf balls to other objects the size of a house. Now, the rings may be part of satellites or moons that were destroyed, or perhaps material left over maybe from another planet when it formed. We don't know. I've never been there. But Saturn has 17 moons. Let me show you 2 really interesting ones, Mimas and Titan. Now, Mimas, take a look at it. This is so cool. It looks like the Death Star from Star Wars. Luke, use the Force, Luke. Scientists think it was hit, and then it spread apart, and then went back together again, and it did the hokey pokey, and it turned itself around. And look at how big that crater is. It is 80 miles across. Now, Titan, this moon is about the size of our planet Mercury. It is one of the most interesting places in our solar system because it has an atmosphere. Ooh, wake up and smell the Titan. The surface of Titan below is a sea of liquid methane. Its atmosphere is similar to Earth. It's mostly nitrogen. Take a deep breath. Most of what you just inhaled is nitrogen. Our atmosphere on Earth is 78% nitrogen and 21% oxygen. So is there life on Titan? What do I look like, Jean-Luc Picard? Let's go there and find out one day. Who knows? But right now, our next stop is back to Starbase 1 for a journey to Saturn. Questions for you. Answers.
This is the testing center of Starbase 1. Today we will be conducting the navigation test for the Saturn region. Stand by. Your briefing session begins now. This is the planet Saturn. It is the second largest planet in our solar system and about 9 times as large as Earth. In the upper left corner is Enceladus, the home of Starbase 4. Enceladus is the brightest moon in the solar system. It reflects almost 100% of the light falling on it. Here is the ground view from Starbase 4. Above the horizon, you can clearly see 3 of Saturn's moons. This is Mimas. That large impact crater that resembles an eyeball is 80 miles wide and about 5.5 miles deep. Study this picture carefully. The pink-colored moon in the center is Rhea. Rhea is one of the most heavily cratered moons in the solar system. Study this picture carefully. The third and final moon we'll look at is Titan. The thick orange atmosphere of Titan is really a methane smog that surrounds the moon. Study this picture carefully. Mimas, Rhea, Titan. The test begins now. Stand by for instructions. Using this chart, plot a course from Enceladus to Titan. Now, I'll program the computer to give us a cockpit view of the flight. Right now, you are seeing liftoff from Enceladus. Looking at the navigational computer, you can see that we are heading for Titan. Hold on. There has been a malfunction in your navigational system. Your main engines have fired, putting you off course. You'll have 5 seconds to decide whether you should continue or abort this flight to Titan. Here is the view outside your spaceship. Are you still on the correct course? The answer is no. You have just passed the moon Mimas, the innermost moon of Saturn. You are now entering the ring system, where your ship will be smashed or even worse, pulled by Saturn's gravity into the planet. The correct answer was to abort this mission. Now, please score yourself. If you answered all questions correctly, congratulations, your training is complete. This test will be given again next week for those of you who wish to qualify for Saturn Patrol. This is the Testing Center of Starbase 1, signing off.
Okay, now, the 3 final planets in our solar system, that is, at least the ones we know about right now, are Uranus, it's blue-green, Neptune, it's blue with a big white spot, and Pluto, the little guy down here. Okay, time for another reality check. Uranus and Neptune are about 4 times bigger than Earth, and Pluto is about the size of our moon. That's how they all look in comparison to each other. Now let's travel to one of the strangest places in our solar system, Uranus. It's barely visible from Earth. Uranus is about 2 billion miles away. It's a large gaseous planet with 15 moons and a system of 11 rings. Now Uranus gets its blue-green color from methane gas, which is the main ingredient in smog. It's LA. Now, why is this planet so weird? Well, get this. The South Pole isn't really at the bottom. It's here in the middle. I mean, something really big must have hit this planet and knocked it over on its side. Now, normal planets have moons that kind of rotate around the middle of the equator, but not here. No, no, no. On Uranus, the moons rotate from top to bottom, kind of a spinning thing. You know, this place looks like a giant bullseye floating in space. Right there. 3.5 years later, after leaving Uranus, Voyager 2 arrived at the 8th planet from the sun, Neptune. It's named for the Roman god of the sea. It has a faint ring system and 8 satellites, and it rotates very quickly, and large storms circle the entire planet. Now, you've seen Jupiter's red spot. Well, not to be left out is Neptune's dark spot, a giant hurricane traveling about 1,500 miles per hour. This spot is about the size of our own Earth. And just like Saturn's moon Titan, Neptune's moon Triton has an atmosphere. And get this, it rotates backwards. It kind of moonwalks around the planet. The ninth planet in our solar system is Pluto. There it is. And you know, it's the only one not visited by Voyager. Now, although you can't really see much from this picture, we do know that it's smaller and very different from its sisters, the gas giants. It does have a moon called Charon. And Pluto is so far away that from it, our sun appears to be just a bright star in the sky. Well, that's the end of our trip to the outer planets. Remember, all the moons and planets we saw today are for real. These aren't just some made-up-for-TV Star Trek stuff. No, no, no. This is really our solar system. Now, what do you think probably happened to Voyager 1 and 2? I guess you're thinking, oh, maybe they ran out of gas and just died? Nope. They're still working. They just keep going and going and going. Now, after photographing Saturn, Voyager 1 shot straight up and is about 4 billion miles away. Voyager 2 is only about 3 billion miles away and will leave our solar system in the year 2015. Gee, count for a second. Figure out how old you're going to be in 2015. I'll be way over 50 years old. Okay, hey, one last picture I got to show you. Voyager 2 turned this camera back toward the sun after leaving Neptune. And see way, way over there, that little teeny tiny dot right there? Well, that's planet Earth right now. That's us, right there. Check it out. Well, thanks for joining me on our grand tour. I'm Phil Moore. And I'll see you next time on Launch Box. Here on Nickelodeon. Cool.
Hi, I'm Mike McCulley, and welcome to the teacher's portion of Launch Box. I was the pilot on Space Shuttle mission STS-34, and during our mission we deployed the Galileo spacecraft, which will study the planet Jupiter. Part of the Galileo probe will slam into Jupiter's atmosphere at 115,000 miles per hour, fast enough to jet from Los Angeles to New York in 90 seconds. And speaking of Jupiter, today's subject is the outer planets. If it seems I'm going too fast, don't worry. You can always go back later, pause the tape, and take as much time as you need to take notes. Ready? Okay then. The ancient astronomers observed points of light in the heavens that appeared to wander among the stars, and they called these objects planets, which means wanderers, and named them after great mythological deities. There are 9 known planets in our solar system, and from the Sun, the inner planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The outer planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. By studying and comparing the geology of planets and moons, we are learning more about the origin and history of the world and the solar system as a whole. In the approximately 30 years of the space age, knowledge about the solar system has advanced further than in all the previous centuries since civilization began. The 5th planet from the Sun is Jupiter. It's the largest planet in the solar system. The diameter of Jupiter is about 11 times greater than Earth's diameter. Jupiter is well known for its Great Red Spot, which is a tremendous atmospheric storm that's similar to Earth's hurricanes and rotates counterclockwise. This storm does change slightly in size, but at its largest, it could swallow 3 Earths. Jupiter has 16 known satellites. Io is probably the most volcanically active member of the solar system. Jupiter's surface is composed chiefly of hydrogen gas, and it has some features considered attractive for life. Its clouds contain water, nitrogen, and carbon. The latter two, in combination with hydrogen, has ammonia and methane, respectively. And Jupiter's atmosphere literally seethes with lightning and other energy, which can provide the catalyst to create pre-life organic compounds. Primitive life is supposed to have appeared on Earth when Earth's atmosphere consisted of hydrogen, methane, ammonia, and water vapor. Nevertheless, the possibility of life on Jupiter is very low because, among other things, its violent weather could destroy organisms as fast as they develop. Saturn is the sixth planet from the Sun and the second largest planet in the solar system, and it is known for its beautiful rings. Like Jupiter, Saturn is believed to have no solid surface. A popular conception of the planet depicts it as gradually changing inward to progressively denser layers of gaseous and then liquid hydrogen that encompasses a comparatively small iron silicate core. Hydrogen has been identified as Saturn's major atmospheric component. The third largest of the planets, Uranus, takes 84 years to travel around the Sun. Also, Uranus rotates on its side. Its atmosphere consists mainly of hydrogen, with about 12% helium and small amounts of ammonia, methane, and water vapor. Surrounding the planet's atmosphere and extending thousands of kilometers into space is a mysterious ultraviolet sheen called an electroglow. Uranus has 11 rings composed of boulder-sized chunks. About 5,000 miles below Uranus's cloud tops, there is thought to be a scalding ocean of water and dissolved ammonia some 6,000 miles deep. And beneath this ocean is an Earth-sized molten core of heavier materials. The fourth largest of the planets, Neptune, is believed to be a twin of Uranus. Voyager 2 completed its 12-year tour of the solar system with an investigation of Neptune and its moons. Like the other giant planets, Neptune has a gaseous hydrogen and helium upper layer over a liquid interior. The planet's core contains a higher percentage of rock and metal than those of the other gas giants. Neptune's distinctive blue appearance, like Uranus's blue color, is due to atmospheric methane. Neptune has two well-known moons, Triton and Nereid. Voyager 2 found 6 more. Triton has more rock than its counterparts at Saturn and Uranus. Triton's mantle is probably composed of water ice, but its crust is a thin veneer of nitrogen and methane. Triton seems to be orbiting so close to Neptune that it appears in danger of being torn apart by Neptune's gravity. Pluto is the most distant of the planets and is the smallest planet in our solar system. It appears to be little more than a celestial snowball. Its diameter is calculated to be about the same as the Earth's moon. Ground-based observations indicate that its surface is covered with methane ice and that there is a thin atmosphere that may freeze and fall to the surface as the planet moves away from the Sun. The planet has one known satellite, Charon. Charon's surface composition is different from Pluto's. The moon appears to be covered with water ice rather than with methane ice. Its orbit is gravitationally locked with Pluto, so both bodies always keep the same hemisphere facing each other. Pluto and Charon's rotational period and Charon's period of revolution are all 6.4 Earth days. Although no spacecraft have ever visited Pluto, NASA is currently exploring the possibility of such a mission. The rest of the program will consist of lists of suggested activities. They won't be on screen long, so it will probably be necessary to pause the tape in order to take notes. Thanks for joining us today on Launch Box.
This show was produced in Nickelodeon Studios at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida.
The following program is part of Cable in the Classroom, a service of the cable television industry and your local cable company.